Today we're going to have just a discussion on resume. And today we're going to talk about resume writing specifically. But again, this is part of the entire Get Hired program, sabihin na natin, which I used to travel around the country to teach. So one of the things that I did before the pandemic is I've had the privilege to work with World Vision in a number of events that they held sa Batangas, gano'n. So pumupunta kami sa lugar to help mga senior high na mga graduating students or yung mga pag-graduate na ng college na mag-prepare ng kanilang resume, to prepare them for a job interview. So we've had events like that, Get Hired pero on-site. On-site siya na seminar. Pero dahil hindi ko kayo mapupuntahan ngayon, dito muna tayo online. Again, it's an entire series that we have. So you can also visit the YouTube channel for the Get Hired playlist. Marami na rin doon. Some of the topics na discuss natin doon, hindi natin ma-discuss ngayon, like writing your cover letter or your how to write your email. But ngayon yung bulk na to is all about resume writing. Okay? So remember this, and we're going to start off really strong because I really want to emphasize this sa inyo. It's better to be rejected for the right reasons and to be accepted for the wrong ones. Okay, let that sink in. Ulitin ko lang yun, ha? It's better to be rejected for the right reasons than to be accepted for the wrong ones. Yan. Hindi lang yan sa exam, yan din po ay totoo sa buhay. Okay? Ano ibig sabihin nun? Mas mabuti po, mas maganda for us, sa totoo lang, for all of us, na kung meron tayong mga opportunities, hindi tayo mapili or hindi tayo makapasok or matanggihan tayo kung tama yung dahilan ng pagtanggi sa atin or tama ang dahilan ng pag-reject sa atin, kaysa yung makakapasok tayo or makakasama tayo, ma-accept tayo, kaya lang, mali naman yung dahilan. Okay. Now, ano ibig sabihin nito? You know how sometimes people would beef up their resume. Ibig sabihin, gagandahan nila yung resume nila, lalagyan nila ng maraming palabok, lalagyan nila maraming qualifications, so matatanggap sila. Pero hindi pala totoo or hindi pala talaga nila kayang gawin yung nandun sa resume nila. So kadalasan, pag nagkagulatan, di ba, pag nandun na sa loob ng kumpanya, nasa position na, bigla marirealize, hindi pala sila mabuting fit for the job. So, yun yung sasabi natin to be accepted for the wrong ones. And meron pang another flip side yun, which is if you are accepted sa job, pero mali yung reason, ibig sabihin akala kakayan-kayanin ka, or akala okay ka with something na illegal, or mali nang ginagawa sa loob ng kumpanya, di ba? You're accepted for the wrong reason. Medyo mas mahirap yun, di ba? Kesa yung na-reject ka, pero tama yung dahilan ng pagkaka-reject sa'yo. So ano ba yung mga tamang dahilan sa rejection ng resume? Grace. So Grace, thank you for the gifts. Willa B, thank you. You know, when it comes to getting rejected sa isang job, pag hindi ka nakapasok sa isang opportunity, hindi ka napili, or kahit sa relationship, sa totoo lang, di ba, huhugot tayo ng very slight dyan. Kung ikaw ay na-reject, nabasted ka, o kaya naghiwalay kayo, pero tama yung dahilan, mas mabuti pa siya. Kasi it actually frees you up, freeze, as in pinapalaya ka niya, to explore other options. So pinapalaya ka para maghanap ng iba na mas better for you. Kasi mas mahirap yung matanggap tayo sa trabaho, tapos makukulong tayo doon ng 3 taon, 5 taon, nang wala tayong masyadong natututunan, wala naman tayong masyadong nakukuhang experience, binabayaran tayo ng hindi tama, di ba? Kesa yung na-reject ka sa simula, tapos nakahanap ka ng kumpanya na mas i-treat ka properly. Or nakahanap ka ng jowa na i-treat ka properly, di ba? Ganon din siya eh. So, again, rejection, I think, is something that a lot of people are so afraid of. And tama ba ako doon? Di ba? Ang dami natin takot ayokong sumubok kasi baka ma-reject ako. Gusto ko lahat ng applyan ko, tatanggapin ako. No? Kasi gusto natin na matanggap tayo, ayaw natin ma-reject tayo. But in many situations, sa totoo lang, mas maganda kung ma-reject tayo. Kasi each closed door just means na kailangan mong lumiko, kailangan mong maghanap, mag-detour, di ba? kung lahat ng options available sa atin, ang hirap, napakahirap po pumili kung lahat ng in-applyan mo ay tinanggap ka. Okay? Kaya again, don't be afraid of rejection. Be more afraid of being accepted for the wrong reasons. Okay? So something to think about lang before we start the discussion. Okay, now, dito na tayo. So may timeline tayo of things. A lot of people kasi look at the hiring process as a one-time thing. Since sa kanila, okay, isang beses lang, isa lang yung gagawin. Kailangan lang makuha ka or mapili ka sa trabaho. Pero actually, it's going to be an entire process. Mahaba ang proseso yan. Okay. Na ano yon? Sa akin, when it comes to the hiring process, meron tayong tatlong sections, tatlong bahagi. Okay? We have yung before, during, at saka after. Okay. Na ano yon? Before ka pa magpakita sa kumpanya, okay, before anything else, meron ka nang gagawin. Merong during, ibig sabihin meron tayong mga tips din for that, job interview tips, how to relax, body language. And if you want us to discuss this next time, let us know na lang din sa comment section kung gusto nyo ng part 2 nito. And of course, yung after. So, following up, dealing with rejection, at kung mapipili ka niya, naman, meron din tayong new hire tips. Now, some of these topics, meron na tayong version yan sa Get Hired playlist sa YouTube, which you can find online right now. Pero ang focus natin ngayon is the before. Okay? So, we're going to talk about doing your research and writing your resume. You know, nag-release kasi kami ng job posting tsaka internship posting the other week, no? Sa Team Lyqa tsaka dito sa Lyqa Maravilla page din. Kasi we are growing our team, so naghahanap kami ng executive assistant, naghahanap kami ng mga interns for content, for writing, for business development. So open call yon. Ibig sabihin, dahil naka-public yung posting, anyone can send their application. And we are in the process pa of sifting through the applicants. And habang tinitingnan namin ni Zandy yung mga application, both of us, and again, sa akin hindi na masyadong surprise, pero siya na medyo nagulat pa siya, that both of us saw that a lot of people still need help when it comes to the application process. Marami pang mga pwedeng baguhin. And because of yung experience ko na yun, again, I'm going to talk about some of them today. But again, no shade ha. Ano yung sabihin? If you feel na, okay, may minimension si coach ngayon, tapos nag-send ako ng application, parang ako yata yung pinag-uusapan. Huwag kayo magdadamdam ha. Hindi kayo, kung ano man yung what you did wrong or what you could have improved, hindi lang kayo yung gumawa nun. So we received actually more than 1,000 applications last week. And open call pa rin naman siya, so open pa rin siya. You can still send yours. But there were a few things na medyo nakapansin-pansin sa maraming aplikante. So if some of them will point out. Okay? Now again, very important yung before na process. The first part of that is doing your research. Now when it comes to doing your research sa job search, hindi lang yan basta research kasi magbabasa lang tayo na parang okay na, meron na akong surface knowledge, okay na yon. But the thing is, it's an entire journey din. Number one, you have to find leads. Now, finding job leads, and again, we have a video of that din sa YouTube, is something na dapat medyo isipin natin na siya as a creative endeavor as well. Okay? And for this, you have to go online. For this, you have to look at job postings. You know, may mga 90s babies ba dito? Di ba nung bata tayo, may mga 90s movies na yung mga tao may hawak na classified ads sa dyaryo, right? That was how things were done before. Tapos titignan naman yung classified ad, tapos naghahanap ka ng mga fit for you, hina-highlight nila, di ba? Or ginugupit nila, tapos pupunta sila dun sa mga companies na yun. Now, ngayon, hindi na masyadong ganun yung proseso ng paghahanap ng trabaho. Hindi na sa classified ads, no? Pero ang ginagawa natin is we usually go online. Maraming mga job search platforms dyan that you can explore. I don't endorse any of them, but again, you have multiple options. Hanap kayo ng fit for you. Another option would be for you to create a LinkedIn profile. So it's a business profile. Kung wala pa kayong LinkedIn, again, I don't endorse them, pero I really suggest that you set up one. Kasi ako nga, for example, no, ako ngayon hindi active yung LinkedIn ko. So nandun lang yung bio ko, nakaupo lang siya dyan. Pero every week, I still get some job offers. or even collaboration and partnership offers from my account sa LinkedIn. So, ang nangyayari, parang nakatambay lang siya dyan, parang profile siya, business profile niyo siya, which is always, kumaga, there for people who are seeking out a person na medyo kapareho mo ng qualification. So, some of the top searches for me, I think last I checked, was about training and curriculum development, about content writing, and of course, they're looking for an HR practitioner. So, again, just throw your bait, no? Pagdating sa LinkedIn. It's a way for you to find job leads. No? Now, another thing that you can do is to understand the position. This is actually very important. No? A lot of people, they apply for jobs. Tapos ganito yung ugali natin minsan, di ba? And again, no shade ha, pero wag kayo magagalit sa akin. Pero yung kahit ano na lang. Okay? Parang basta kahit ano na lang, okay na yan. Now, ang problema doon is, even if medyo, yung iba kasi positive naman yung dahilan kung bakit sinasabi nila kahit anong trabaho na lang, no? Ang ibig sabihin nila is, I'm willing to learn, I'm willing to do anything for a job. But ang nangyayari minsan is, kung kahit ano na lang, pero ang ugali natin sa kahit anong trabaho na lang is, bahala na si Batman, parang ganun. Ang nangyayari is, we don't know anything about the position. So kapag sumabak na tayo sa paggawa ng resume natin, yun pa lang, okay? Hindi na sakto yung nakalagay sa resume natin doon sa hinahanap sa posisyon. For example, ano ba ibig sabihin ng executive assistant? No? Kasi we're looking for an executive assistant. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng executive assistant? Now, some people, ang feeling nila, pag sinabi assistant, ibig sabihin, yung conventional na description. Okay, kung may event, ikaw yung may dala ng luggage, ikaw yung tiga-abot, di ba? Yun yung assistant to assist. But when we talk about being an executive assistant, marami na ring roles yan na hindi ganun, na hindi about physical work. It's about answering emails, it's about taking care of a schedule, talking to other people. So kung ang idea natin ng assistant ay hindi sakto dun sa hinahanap, kasi ano lang, okay ako sa physical labor, di ba? Yun ang definition mo ng assistant. Hindi pala siya sakto dun sa hinahanap. So you really have to understand the position. And ang bala nyo dito, honestly, is Google. No? Sa panahon ngayon, lahat halos mahahanap nyo na. I remember we had a professor when we were in college. Tapos sabi niya sa akin, nag-share siya ng story niya na before daw, nag-work siya sa isang malaking company. Tapos ang job title is logistics engineer. Kasi hindi siya engineer, no? Pero logistics engineer. Tapos, ang ganda-ganda ng title, di ba? Logistics engineer. Tapos ang trabaho daw niya is magpapila. So sa mga pila ng magbabayad ng kuryente, gano'n. Siya yung nagtatanggal ng tape, 'di ba? May gano'n. Parang ribbon. 'Yon, logistics engineer. Pero 'di ba, if you Google the position logistics engineer, ano kayong ginagawa noon, 'di ba? Dapat maintindihan talaga natin ang husto para ma-present natin yung sarili natin as a good fit for that particular position. Okay? Now, the third thing that you have to research is the company. You have to know the company that you're applying for. Okay? And I think I keep using this illustration, pero this is true, no? I've had stories of people na sabi na nag-apply daw sila for a major company, production company, a multinational na company na nagpo-produce ng products, no? Gumagawa sila ng mga sabon, as in marami silang ginagawa. Hindi ko na sasabihin ko ano yung company, no? Tapos isa sa mga unang tanong sa interview is, ano ang alam ninyo na products namin? Okay? So, ano yung alam ninyo na minamanufacture ng company na ito? Tapos, yung isa sa mga friends ko na aplikante, wala siyang alam. Wala siyang baon. So, nung pinapalista, nakangiti lang siya kasi wala siyang alam na ginagawa ng company. Which is weird kasi ang dami talaga nilang products. Parang na mental block daw siya at saka hindi niya alam na sila pala rin yung gumagawa nun. Kasi you know how sometimes a company would produce multiple na parang arms. Meron silang sabon, meron silang shampoo, meron silang pet products, meron silang pagkain, meron silang biskwit, di ba? Yung iba-iba na ganon, hindi niya alam. Hindi siya nakapag-research. So again, that is a classic example of sayang kasi qualified ka naman, pumunta ka na doon, di ba? Nandun ka na sa opportunity you have your foot in the door. Pero because you didn't know the company, hindi ka ngayon mapipili. Now, sa amin, for example, yung pangalan ko pa lang is a test in itself. It's ironic actually. We're looking for someone who could be an executive assistant for Team Lyqa. And the problem is, there were people who were saying na hindi daw nila nasisend yung email. Nagbabounce yung email. So they were medyo complaining na parang bakit ganun, hindi naman gumagana yung email. So may mga ano pa accusations na bogus or scam daw yung application. Tapos upon further investigation, ang dahilan pala is kasi sinaspell nila yung Team Lyqa na TAMLYCA o kaya LYKA. So, ibig sabihin nun, they don't even know the correct spelling of my name, right? Or of the name of the company or of the name of the team. So, anong problema doon? Now, if you're applying for an executive assistant position, attention to detail is very important. Kasi sobrang importante niyan. Dapat nakikita, alam mo yung pangalan, dapat matatandaan mo yung tamang spelling ng pangalan. So, if ang aplikante can't even research kung ano yung pangalan or tamang spelling ng company, paano ka matatanggap? Tama? Parang kumbaga, you'd have to know the right pronunciation, you have to know kung anong industry sila, ano yung values din nila if meron, at paano mo to i-integrate sa kung sino ka. Okay? So again, think about that all the time. Now, doon din papasok yung lagi natin sinasabi sa Team Lyqa, hanap bago hingi. Okay? And you would think na parang hindi, okay lang yun. Okay lang, magtanong na lang tayo, mag-email ka na, magtanong ka na lang. But, okay, if you keep asking or looking for affirmation, what that shows is that you are not an independent employee. Hindi ka independent na tao. So, ibig sabihin, kung maghahanap kami, ako for example, very important sa akin na independent, self-motivated, tsaka driven yung aking kasama sa team. Okay? Kasi I work with minimal supervision eh. And hindi ko kayo mababantayan na lahat ng gagawin ninyo yung i-check ko kasi marami na akong ginagawa. So sa akin, importante na independent yung empleyado ko. Now, if you're always asking na ano po bang anong font size, gusto niyo po ba ng picture, instead of just ilagay niyo na lang lahat, di ba? Or wala kang initiative or you're not looking for the answers yourself, you would limit your opportunity. So again, you have to know the company. Alright? Mag-research kayo kung alam ninyo at mamememorize ninyo kung sino yung nasa board, kung sino yung dapat sulatan, kung ano yung mission and vision ng company, mas mahalaga. Okay? And just, I guess, last week lang ba yun? Yeah, last week we had a guest sa Get Hired podcast, si Pat Soyaw ng Job Defined. And he is a professional headhunter. So pag sinabing headhunter, sa industry, sa HR, ang ibig sabihin po nun is naghahanap siya ng mga talents. So may mga companies, usually international yan. Sabihin nila, kailangan ko ng CEO, kailangan ko ng engineer, kailangan ko ng ganito. Usually for higher positions. Tapos si Pat, ang work niya as a headhunter is maghahanap siya ng mga tao na pagpipilian ng kumpanya na yon. Okay? Now, one of his advice is this, and hindi ko to naisip or hindi ko to alam, no? Kaya i-share ko sa inyo. Pakinggan nyo rin yung podcast episode na yun, marami kayong matututunan sa kanya. Is, sabi niya, pwede kayong mag-research kung sino talaga yung boss ng boss ng boss. Ibig sabihin, sino yung HRD head, sino yung CEO or CFO. Mag-research kayo, tapos pwede kayong, kasi makikita ninyo yun sa LinkedIn, sa website, minsan, mahahanap ninyo yung pangalan nila, mahahanap ninyo yung email nila. Sabi niya, pwede na kayong dumiretso doon. Which is, nagulat din ako kasi, pwede na pala yun sa Pilipinas. Pero yes, pwede pala yun. So, pwede kayong dumiretso, research yung pangalan nila, tapos kung makikita nila, okay, itong bata na to may initiative. Kasi nag-reach out eh. So, siya na ngayon yung magiging parang, in a way, backer mo. Isisend niya ngayon yung details mo sa HR. So, dadaan ka pa din sa HR, yes. Pero at least meron ka ng, kumaga, good word sa loob. Okay? Or dun sa executive ng company. Okay? So, something to think about lang when making your decisions. Kasi again, you really have to show na gusto mo talaga. Yun naman ang hinahanap eh. Pagdating sa hiring process, honestly, more than the credentials, ang hinahanap namin, attitude. Ang hinahanap ng mga hiring managers, yung ugali. Yung disiplina, attention to detail. Anong klaseng tao to? Nakikinig ba to? Okay? Humble ba siya? Teachable ba siya? And how do we know these things? Doon sa ginagawa ninyong maliliit na bagay sa interview process. Okay? So again, know the company. Now, number 4, you have to know yourself. Now, I'll let that sink in lang a little bit. You have to know yourself. A lot of people actually don't know themselves, lalo na sa context ng trabaho na hinahanap nila. Medyo, ano ba, kailangan natin ng mas maraming self-awareness as a country. Lahat tayong mga Pilipino, kailangan natin ng maraming self-awareness. Okay, ano ibig sabihin nun? You have to know your strengths, you have to know your weaknesses, you have to know kung pag nag-apply ako sa company na to, yamado ba ako o dehado? Okay? Kung hindi kayo familiar doon sa term na yon, yung mga Gen Z natin dyan, pag sinabi natin yamado, ibig sabihin lamang ka or you have an edge over your competitors. Dehado, ibig sabihin underdog ka. Ibig sabihin, mas malaki yung qualifications ng mga kasama mo. Okay, let me give you an example. For, again, an executive assistant position. If meron ka ng experience before, diba? May mga experience ka na, nag-EA ka na before, meron kang 5 years of experience, you know, liyamado ka. Ibig sabihin, lamang ka dun sa hinahanap na position. Kung ikaw ay fresh grad with limited experience, alam mo, dehado ka. Diba? Dehado ka dun sa position na yon. So kapag dehado ka, hindi ibig sabihin na, ay, wala, natalo na ako, hopeless na ako, hindi na ako magsasubmit. No, ang ibig sabihin lang nun is I have to work extra hard to prove that I am willing to learn and to showcase my positive attitude dun sa entire process. So ano ibig sabihin nun? Kung liyamado na ako sa isang job position, lamang na ako sa pag-a-apply, alam ko na a simple email, minsan generic pa, a simple resume with all my credentials, pwede na rin generic kasi na-apply ko na sa ibang mga company. Dahil mataas na yung qualifications ko, I can just send that. Now, kung ako ay dehado, ibig sabihin underdog ako, wala ako masyadong experience, the way that I craft my email, introduction email, which we'll talk about soon in a new Get Hired podcast episode, dapat maayos ang wording ko doon. Positive ang scripting, di ba? Dapat ipakita ko that I'm willing, I'm teachable. Ano ba yung mga edge ko over other people? Dahil hindi ako masyadong lamang sa experience, dahil bata pa ako, ang pwede kong sabihin na lamang ko is, mabilis ako online. Okay? Magaling ako sa online tools. Yun yung nakapag-hold na ako ng webinars. So, yun yung edge ko kasi someone who is, sabihin na natin, 30 years old with years of experience, baka medyo mas mabagal na siya when it comes to other online platforms. Like, mas mabagal na siya ng konti sa TikTok, hindi niya na masyadong alam yung channel analytics, medyo mabagal siya gumawa ng mga designs or anything like that. So, babanatan mo ngayon sa skill. Now, paano natin malalaman yun? Kasi nga, again, you have to know yourself. Now, what you have to do right now, if you already have a resume, is to look at your own resume. Tapos hanapin ninyo yun. So one of the things that a lot of people skip is going through their resume and evaluating it. Na, okay lang, kung ako yung hiring manager at ito yung resume, babasahin ko, ano ba yung mga dapat niyang baguhin? Ano yung mga dapat niyang i-rephrase? Okay? Which we'll go through later. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is to actually write the resume. So wala pa, no? Di ba? It's all about research pa lang, pero ang dami na. And again, yung maraming ginawa nyo before will help you do this part. Okay? Now, gone are the days ng biodata. Okay? Nung unang panahon, biodata, di ba, ang ina-apply? Or kung kunyari, skilled work kasi, kung medyo, sabihin na natin, generic na trabaho, if you're going to be a sales lady, a bagger, merong template ng biodata, yun ang hinahanap, pwede pa rin yun. Pero ngayon, okay, mas maganda if you have a fully customized na resume. Now, how do we do that? You have 3 C's. Very important to. Number 1, construction. So, we're going to talk about the templates or the forms, the types ng resume. Second thing, we're going to talk about the content. Ano yung kailangan yung ilagay at hindi nyo na kailangan ilagay sa resume. And then yung third part is yung customization. Paano nyo i-edit yung resume niyo? Paano nyo siya i-revise? Okay? Now, let's start with the construction. Sa construction, one thing that you have to understand is that marami kayong options. Okay? Now, hindi natin pag-uusapan yung CV ngayon kasi hiwalay na discussion yan. Masyado, mas matrabaho pa yung CV. Most jobs naman just require a resume. So, doon muna tayo sa construction. Okay, now, multiple types. First, pinaka-madalas gamitin, yung chronological resume. Pag sinabing time, so chronological, ibig sabihin, it's going to be detailed na list ng inyong work experience. Naka-arrange siya in order sa kung ano yung pinaka-recent mong work experience hanggang sa pinaka-late na work experience mo. Okay, so ano yung chronological, time. Now, this works well if marami kang work experience. Okay. Now, the problem is, paano kung hindi masyadong marami yung work experience ko? Coach, fresh grad ako, paano naman yun? Anong lalagay ko sa chronological resume? Baby pa ako, di ba? So, alangan namang iwan nating empty yung work experience ninyo. Doon na papasok yung pwede tayong mag-switch into functional resume. Now, ang functional resume naman, it works well for people who have a lot of skills. Pag nagsabi kasi tayo ng functional resume, ang header niya or ang focus or nililista niya talaga is yung dami ng skills ninyo. And then under your skills would be yung mga actual na experience niyo working or using that skill. Now, kung ang problema naman again, kung fresh grad, wala masyadong skills, ano naman din ang ilalagay ko, wala akong skills. Now, what you could look at would be, pwede tayo gawin ng hybrid. Yung hybrid would be a little bit, it looks a little bit like chronological, a little bit like functional. It works if you have marami experience or wala. So, how do we do that? Now, ang maganda rin ngayon, sa totoo lang, is that marami ng templates online. But what I want you to understand is that you have to first have a master resume. I'll talk to you about that later sa editing. Let me just show you examples muna ng chronological at functional resume. Okay? Now here we have, this is my, dito na tayo sa chronological. Okay, this is my chronological resume. Ayan. Pagpatawad nyo na lang. Huwag nyo nang basahin in detail ha. Hindi naman yun ang point natin. Ang chronological resume, this is a master resume ha. Hindi pa to yung isasubmit ko sa company, by the way. Ibig sabihin, hindi pa to naka-layout. Listahan lang talaga siya. So, this is what a chronological resume looks like. You focus on the work experience. So, if you notice, it starts here. So, founder and trainer ng Team Lyqa review, January 2015 to present. So, ito yung pinaka-recent. Under that, yung trabaho, ibig sabihin yung position ko, is yung time. Tapos, yung mga pinagagagawa ko, under that. So, usually, pag ganito, again, you have to use hard verbs, ibig sabihin, action words. Thought, worked, set up, wrote, shot, edited. So, again, action words siya. Tapos, uurong pa tayo ng konti, instructor, sa College Foundation. Actually, hindi ko to na-update kasi hanggang 2017 lang ako. Hindi na ako nagtuturo. Since then, nag-full-time na ako sa content creation. Pero yan yung mga previous kong experience. Ito yung sa Manulife, ito yung sa HR. Okay, so chronological resume is about a chronological na list of the things that you did before. Now, you would notice kahit na dito sa aking master copy, yung ating resume, 1 page lang. Yung first page ay enough na. Kasi nasa second page, yung mga hindi masyadong importanteng parts like work exposure, education, skills, and qualifications. Kasi sa totoo lang, again, meron naman akong experience that can stand alone. So, depende na yan sa inyo. Now, kung ang bentahe ninyo ay skills, we'll talk about that mamaya, pwede nyo siya i-tweak sa editing. So, that is what a chronological resume looks like. Now, ano naman yung functional resume? Kapag functional resume ang meron kayo, ganito ang itsura niya. Okay? So, again, master copy, hindi to naka-edit for aesthetics. Pero, we start with licenses and certifications. Sa totoo lang, kasi medyo strong na agad yung license psychometrician. May lisensya po kasi ako. The civil service exam, prof, top 1. So, una ko yun talaga nilalagay sa mga resumes kasi naintindihan ang lahat yon. Now, sa qualifications, dito na natin lalagay, again, this is a functional resume. Ano ba yung mga ginagawa ko? Leadership and management. Okay, so, again, lalo na kung leadership position yun, team leader, supervisor, HR head, anything. Yan. That's teaching and curriculum development. That's another skill. Tapos sa ilalim nun yung mga pinagagagawa. Okay? Tapos human resources management. So ito yung ginawa ko while I was working sa HR. So conducted research, revised and updated company rules, hired and trained employees. Actually fired din, hindi ko na lang nilagay. Handled conflict management kasi nung time na yon may mga nagtatalo-talo ng mga employees. So, ayan, trabaho ko rin yun na mag-awat at saka mag-preside sa meetings at pagbatiin sila in essence, no? And of course, communication and client support. Now, of course, these days, kung meron pa akong oras, dadagdagan ko na yan ng content creation, dadagdagan ko na yan ng mga ginagawa ko ngayon pagdating sa Team Lyqa. Pero back then, okay, this was how it looked like. Okay? So, yun yung pinagkaiba ng chronological at saka functional resume. Chronological list ng mga posisyon that you held, ng mga trabaho that you held, depende sa oras. Kasi chronological nga. Functional, yung mga pinagagagawa mo sa loob. So, skills that you employed, were you good, ano yung ginawa mo when it comes to leadership and management, teaching and curriculum development, whatever that is. Now, again, sa aking resume ito. Depende sa inyo kung ano yung mailalagay nyo sa resume ninyo. Okay? So, something to think about lang para meron tayong format. Now, sa simula pa lang, ma-realize nyo na agad kung ano yung mag-work para sa akin. Now, kung kayo ay fresh grad, tapos meron kayong experience sa content creation, may experience kayo sa web design, may experience kayo sa technical writing, okay, at least marami kayong bankable skills, pwede kayong mag-lean towards functional resume. Pag wala kayong experience kasi at chronological yung ginamit natin, medyo empty yung resume natin. Now, hindi ko pwedeng sabihin kung ano ang better, one or the other. Ang sagot kasi dyan talaga, depende sa inyo. Depende sa kung sino kayo. Again, number 4 sa ating research, before you even start creating your resume is, you have to know yourself. So, ano yung sayo? Ano yung mga maililista ninyo? Okay, now, pag sinagot ako ng, kasi yung iba, ganun ang sagot sa akin paano po yun wala akong maisulat? Gumawa ka ng maisusulat mo. Okay? Yun ang sagot doon. Mag-enroll ka sa mga classes, mag-volunteer ka sa organizations, mag-set up ka ng something, gumawa ka ng small business. Anything you can do para lamanan yung resume ninyo, gawin nyo na siya. Okay? Very important yan. Okay, now next. Yung content na tayo, ano ba dapat ang laman ng resume? Number 1, na kailangan na pag-usapan at napaka-importante, contact information. Okay? Sayang kung meron kayong napakagandang resume tapos wala kayong contact information, or mas masakit kung na-misspell ninyo yung contact information ninyo. And na-experience ko yan, nung hiring manager pa ako, yung ang ganda ng resume, tapos tatawagan mo, tapos wrong number. Ibig sabihin, pag wrong number, baka mali yung number na ilagay niya, or inactive na, or yun, na-typo siya. Diba? Nagkamali ng isang number or isang digit sa kanyang number, hindi na namin siya makontakt. Tatry mo dun sa email. Magbabounce din yung email mo kasi na-misspell niya rin yung email niya. Okay? Yung iba naglalagay pa ng website. So, kunyari, www.lyqamaravilla.com. Tapos, pag chinek mo, no page found, no? Error. Ibig sabihin, wala naman palang ganong klaseng page. Nilagay niya lang kasi parang maganda tingnan. So, again, don't do that. Make sure that your contact information, number 1, works. Okay, dapat gumagana, dapat nare-reach kayo. Kung meron kayong extra resources, sa totoo lang, mas maganda if you have a dedicated business phone. Okay, ano ibig sabihin ko doon? Uso naman na ngayon yung multiple SIMs, di ba, na phone, or multiple phones sa isang tao. Ilan ba ang phone ninyo? Okay, syempre, depende sa tao, no? Hindi naman lahat privileged. Pero kung meron kayong kakayanan na yung isang number ninyo ay para sa business or para sa professional na mga interactions, tapos yung isa yung personal, mas maganda. Kasi naranasan ko na rin yung tumawag ako, tapos sumagot, tapos parang, oh pare, ganun. Tapos ang casual niya, tapos nung na-realize niya na, ay sorry ma'am, mayroon po kasi akong hinihintay na tawag. Sayang, di ba? Kasi hindi ka na professional sounding. Kung meron kang dalawang phone, or at least dalawang number, alam mo na kapag itong number na to, SIM 2 ang nagre-ring, alam mo na, okay, sino lang ba may alam ng number na to? Probably yung HR. So, kailangan kong i-retain yung composure ko pag sinagot ko. Kasi sayang naman yung opportunity. Doon na rin papasok yung, minsan or madalas, actually ngayon, maraming mga phone interviews, yung initial interview over the phone lang. Tapos kapag hindi mo nasagot, di ba, syempre mag-move on na sila to another applicant. So, ayaw natin mangyari yon sa atin, kaya dapat meron ka talagang dedicated na phone for work. Ano ba? The moment na na-realize mo na, okay, I'm looking for a job. I'm actively looking for a job right now. There are choices that have to be made. And one of those is making sure na available ka for calls. And yes, kahit may anxiety ka, kasama talaga siya. Ako din wala kailangan ko siyang gawin. So, kailangan ko abangan yung mga yun. So, the best I can do would be to prepare for that. Okay. Now, contact information again, dapat sa yun. Here's another thing, kung may landline number kayo, pero shared landline siya. Okay? Ibig sabihin, marami kayong gumagamit ng phone na yon. Nasa bahay niyo siya, lagi siyang, kumbaga, dandaanan siya ng maraming tao. Pwede nyo nang hindi ilagay. Kung wala, bigay nyo na not applicable. Sorry, not applicable kasi kesa yung maglalagay tayo tapos iba yung sasagot. Di ba? Na-experience ko na rin yan, tinawagan ko. Tapos, asan si, okay, we're looking for Ronaldo Santos Jr. Tapos ang sagot sa akin, wala pong ganun dito eh. Tapos may nakisabat. Sino ba yung nahanap? Si Ronaldo Santos Jr. do. Si JR yan, si JR. Tapos tinawag pa. Kasi nasa, ano pala siya, tindahan pala yon. Tapos tinawag pa si JR, ganyan. Ang tagal. Tapos sinanap pa, ganun. So, again, kung gusto natin na maging as professional as possible, iwasan natin yon. Okay? Lalo na kung alam mong dehado ka sa posisyon. Ano ibig sabihin ko doon? Kung si JR ay top 1 sa engineering board exam or top 1 sa CPA board exam at ako yung hiring manager, headhunter na hinahanap ko siya, by all means, maghihintay ako. Okay? Tapatan lang tayo ha. Again, realistically speaking. Top 1 siya eh. So, hintayin ko siya, di ba? Kasi meron siyang, sabihin na may edge siya eh. Pero kung, ibig sabihin, regular na aplikante ka lang, alam mo naman hindi ikaw yung lamang dun sa position na yon, gusto mo lang ng opportunity to prove yourself. Diba? Those are things that could cause you to lose that opportunity for a lot of companies. So again, be careful sa ganun. Now, the second thing that you can include would be eligibility and certifications. Dito na papasok yung mas maganda kung meron kayong civil service eligibility. Honestly, kahit corporate company, tas may civil service eligibility kayo, lalo na kung alam ng HR, kung gaano kababa ang passing rate sa civil service, medyo may edge din siya. Kumuha kayo ng mga eligibility kung ang inyong course, merong licensure exam, mas maganda kung meron kayong licensure exam. Kahit na walang licensure exam yung inyong course, kung makakuha kayo ng mga certificates sa ibang lugar, mas maganda. Okay? Very strong yan kung may eligibility ka. And then susunod na natin yung mga tatlong E. Education, experience, tsaka exposure. Na ano ba itong mga to? Education, self-explanatory naman siya. Gusto ko lang talaga i-point out is kapag dating sa education, lalo na kapag kayo ay graduate na, hindi nyo na po kailangan ilagay yung nursery. Okay? Yung prep, yung kindergarten. Kahit na first honor ka nung kinder, hindi na siya masyadong malaki yung bearing pagdating sa, sa job. So, anong kailangan natin gawin? Actually, at most, pwede nyo ibaba hanggang high school. Lalo na kung makakatulong yung high school ninyo. Selling point siya. For example, sa akin, hindi ko na nilalagay yung UP sa education ko kasi hindi ko naman natapos. Ibig sabihin, hindi na siya gano'n ka-importante. Pero yung high school ko, minsan, again, pag alam ko dehado ako, nilalagay ko. Kasi Quezon City Science High School ako. Kahit papaano, di ba? Science pa rin siya. So, medyo onting edge yon. Pero kung kunwari, I went to 3 different high schools, di ba? Kasi nagpalipat-lipat kami ng lugar. Hindi naman ako honor student, wala naman siyang idadagdag sa akin. Pwede mo nang hindi ilagay yung high school. Okay? So, again, depende na po yan sa inyo. So, you really have to know yourself. Now, the third thing would be experience. Now, ano ba yung experience siya ka-exposure? It's actually Tita Girly Corda who told me this. Kapag hindi ka paid or kapag hindi siya actual employee position, hindi ka talaga empleyado ng kumpanya, wala kang SS, pag-ibig or anything, exposure lang po yun. Ang experience is if ikaw talaga yung empleyado ka talaga. Okay? Or sa case ng mga freelancers, actually, dito na medyo flexible tayo kasi mga freelancer, ano sila kontratista sila. So, kahit na hindi ka employee ng company, pero may ilagay siya under work experience. Lalo na kung mahaba naman yung stint mo dun sa trabaho na yon. Kung isang buong project siya, bakit naman hindi? Pero kadalasan, again, experience is if empleyado ka talaga. So, ang sagot sa akin ng mga fresh grad, paano po yun? Ibig sabihin, pag fresh grad ako, wala akong experience. Now, ang unang sagot dyan would be, pwede kang actually magkaroon ng work experience kahit na undergrad ka. Kasi kung ikaw ay nag-working student, kahit na part-time yan, kung empleyado ka pa rin, empleyado ka pa rin. Edge yun ng mga working students. Sa totoo lang, kasi pagka-graduate nila, meron na sila agad na work experience. Now, another thing is, kung wala kang work experience, daanin mo sa exposure. Now, ano ba yung work exposure? Ayan, may nagtanong si Asaf, sabi niya, Experience po ba ang OJT na paid or exposure lang? Now, sa akin, ang sagot ko dyan would be, exposure lang. Kasi, itatanong din naman ng hiring manager, ano to, OJT? Di ba? Work exposure pa rin siya kasi mandated siya by your school. Kapag OJT kasi na paid, kadalasan allowance lang naman yun. Parang paid internship yun eh. So, under exposure pa rin siya. Pero ilagay mo na siya sa pinakauna kasi at least malaking bagay na yun. Lalo na kung multinational yung company or law firm or basta malaki naman yung kumpanya, pwede na rin yun. Pero hindi pa rin siya work experience kasi wala ka namang benefits. Di ba? So, hindi pa rin siya pareho. Now, under exposure, you write your OJT, sige. So, you can write yung mga volunteer work mo. Kung meron kang kung meron kang organization or kung ikaw ay part ng ministry sa church ninyo, nagtuturo ka, nasa youth ministry ka, nasa worship ministry ka. Sa totoo lang, a lot of people don't know it, pero pwede nyo siya ilagay under work exposure. Kasi volunteer work yun eh. Okay, hindi lang experience kasi hindi ka naman binabayaran, di ba? Kung may allowance man, baka kaunti lang yun. Pero you can put it under work exposure. So let me just go back to my chronological resume. Yan. Again, master copy to, so marami tong halo. Ito yung part 2. Okay, ito, work exposure, for example. Let me show you mine. Yan, I have this creative director, curriculum developer, trainer for Soundcheck Ministry. This is actually a non-profit organization na sinet up ni Kuya Ken, Guillermo, at mga batchmates niya, sila Benny. When I was still in Visaya College. So, I was part of the entire organization. I was the creative director. So, ito yung mga ginawa ko. Pero dahil hindi naman ako bayad dyan, kasi nga, again, this is a non-profit organization. Basically, parang out of the school, pero school org siya. So, work exposure lang siya. Lista ko na lang yung mga ginawa ko. Now, here is how I framed yung aking volunteer work sa church. So, I was a youth leader for the Astig Youth Organization, July 2004 to 2015. Actually, hindi lang as trader to, kasi itong specific resume na pinapakita ko sa inyo is if I'm applying for a teaching position. Pero marami pang iba. So, again, yan. That could be work exposure. This is my racket. When I was in school, so I was the continuity writer, AV director, creative director ako for the Philippine Food Safety Conference in 2010 sa Cebu. So, ito yung mga ginawa ko doon. So, this is my work exposure. Okay? Na again, kung meron ka pang ibang mga leadership na ginagawa sa school, mas marami ka pa pwedeng ilagay dyan. Okay? Sa exposure po ba pwedeng ilagay yung SK president sa community? Pwede naman. Pwede rin siya sa exposure, but you have to understand, again, hindi lang siya pwede yung, kuyari, SK. Buuin ninyo. Ano yung hawak ninyo na sektor? Ano yung mga ginawa ninyong projects? Ano yung ginawa mo talaga? Kasi alam naman natin maraming SK na paliga lang. So, kailangan himayin natin kung ano yung mga ginawa ninyo. Nag-hold ka ba ng events? Nag-preside ka ba sa meetings? Ano yung mga actually ginawa mo under that? Mas maganda para strong yung pitch mo. Okay? So yon, again, contact information, eligibility, education experience, exposure for non-paid work or for part-time work, tapos skills. Now, I really need to point this out kasi ang dami nabibiktima dito. Ang dami naglalagay ng skills pero hindi naman nila actually skills. So, mahuhuli rin po kayo. So, wag niyong gagawin yon. Yung aking kakambal, si Coach Chubby, has a lot of things to say about that. Kasi nagtuturo siya ng Excel. So, if in case interested din kayo, hanapin niyo si Coach Chubby sa TikTok, sa YouTube, or everywhere else. But a lot of people claim to have skills. Tapos, pag nasa skills test na, biglang mag-walk out or biglang aalis. Which is wrong. Okay? So, ilalagay nyo lang talaga na proficient kayo sa MS Excel kung marunong talaga kayo at least mag-basic na mga codes. Ako, for example, I don't write na proficient ako sa MS Excel kasi hindi talaga. Hindi. Basics lang alam ko sa Excel. Yung enough lang para magamit ko siya sa psych assessment. Okay? So, ibig sabihin na summation, mga formula for chi-square, mga ganon. Hanggang doon lang yung kaya ko sa Excel, pero hindi ko kaya mag-program. So, again, write yung skills na talagang mapapatunayan mo. Another thing is, if you have ways to send your portfolio, which again, I appreciate. Ang daming mga nag-apply for internships sa amin na may sarili nilang QR code. bonus. Sarili nilang website, sarili nilang showcase, okay, ng portfolio, mga links to videos they edited. We appreciate that kami na mga namimili ng empleyado. So, pwede nyo ilagay yon. Instead of just saying na uh, video editing is a skill for you, lalagay nyo na lang yung pwede kayo maglagay ng portfolio ninyo. So, ng links to your reel para makita na talagang ginagawa nyo siya. Kasi yung sinasabi nyo lang na ginagawa ninyo. Okay? So, kung sabi nyo marunong kayo sa web design, maglagay kayo ng example ng websites na dinesign ninyo. Okay? So, again, make sure that ganun yun. Proficient and knowledgeable are different, right? Yes. Yes. Pero, again, you have to be careful in using those words. Sa akin, sa totoo lang, kapag skills na yung pinag-uusapan, i-bullet point nyo na lang. So, skills, tapos lagay nyo lang in bullets, mas malinaw pa siya. Mas madali siya tingnan. A lot of people think that a good resume is a wordy resume. Ibig sabihin, punong-puno, all blocked, di ba, yung resume. In fact, hindi yan totoo kasi a lot of us na hiring managers or kaming mga namimili ng mga empleyado. Again, sinabi rin ni Pat dun sa episode ng Get Hired, wala po kaming oras. Ain't nobody got time for that, no? Wala kaming oras na himayin ng todo yung inyong resume. May referral code ba ang Kumu? Yes. Thank you for the question, Ensky. Ano ba yung referral code natin? And i-flash na lang po ni Madam Zandy sa screen. Meron tayo referral code for Kumu, by the way. So if you want to install yung Kumu, it will help us as well. You can use our code. Anyway, yeah. Nasaan na ba ako? Ayun, kay Pat. So, mabilis lang. Sabi niya nga, mga 6 seconds 6 to 10 seconds usually. Minsan ganun lang kabilis to skim through your resume. So, you have to just be very quick about it as well. Ilagay nyo na lang sa first page lahat ng importanteng makita. Ayan. Louie. May magandang question si Louie. Coach, before my prof told me na kapag magbabasa ng resume, dapat kakaiba. Yung ibang uri ng papel ang gagamitin para eye-catching. Tingin niyo po ayos yun kung madaming nag-a-apply. Okay. Here's something na sasabihin ko sa inyo. If you can invest, at again, kung printed yung resume, no? Kasi papel yung pinag-uusapan ni Louie, no? Nung papel yung sinabi ng prof niya, hindi kailangan scented yung papel. Nako. Alam nyo, isa sa mga horror sa buhay ko yan nung HR pa ako, yung scented na papel. Kasi ayoko nung mga floral scent, yung mga rose, yung mga ganon. Tapos ang problema pa, pag yung resume scented, nahahawa yung mga katabi. So kahit na wala na yung resume na may scent, naamoy mo pa rin siya sa desk mo. I still have very real nightmares about that. Hindi naman kailangan scented or anything. Here's my take lang. Kung gagamit kayo ng papel, make sure na hindi siya yung manipis. Ilang GSM ba yung ginagamit natin for the reviewer? 80? And mas maganda kung mga around 80 GSM. Okay? 80, ibig sabihin medyo makapal. Bakit? Kasi kapag sobrang nipis ng inyong resume, yung parang onion skin na siya, minsan, and nangyayari to, promise, dumidikit siya dun sa papel, dun sa, na before siya. So kapag kinuha mo ito, sasama yung resume ninyo, hindi makikita, hindi siya makikita, kasi sa sobrang nipis niya, sumama siya dun sa ibang papel. So, ang sa akin, hindi naman kailangan na sobrang iba yung papel. Sa totoo lang, medyo weird. Lalo na kung hindi naman creative yung position. Admin assistant tapos, di ba, scented, tapos design yung papel. Hindi naman kailangan na gano'n. Mas mag-focus kayo sa kapal ng papel. Hindi naman, hindi ko sinasabi construction paper o kay Oslo yung, or illustration board. Ilagay yung resume yung sa illustration board. Hindi ganun ha. Pero at least, mga 80 GSM, yung medyo makapal na papel. Okay? Na kung gagamit kayo ng textured na papel siya pa rin dapat, wag board. Kasi, di ba, pag nakalagay na board, or vellum, di ba? Pag board na yung nakalagay dun sa, wag naman ganun. Ano rin yun, medyo cheat din yun ng kaunti. Kapag magpapaprint kayo, and alam ko yan, kasi ganyan na ako noon. When I first started looking for a job, tsaka nung una akong mga rumaraket, wala kaming printer sa bahay at that time. So, ang ginagawa ko, bumibili ako ng papel, tapos pag magpapaprint ako, dala-dala ko yung sarili kong papel dun sa computer shop. Tapos, pwede po dito nyo siya i-print. Kasi pag hindi, di ba, kadalasan sa mga computer shop or sa Xerox, maninipis talaga yung papel. Okay? So, another tip pala is that, kung pwede, ipaprint nyo talaga. Huwag nyo isi-Xerox yung papel. Kasi, lalo na kung may mga medyo cheap type ng Xerox, yung may mga may mga damage, di ba? Yung may mga sa corner, merong itim, gano'n. Medyo unprofessional lang siya tingnan. So, kung mag-invest na rin kayo, gano'n na. Mag-invest na kayo sa maayos na papel. Hindi naman kailangan sobrang bongga. Basta medyo makapal. Medyo tama yung kapal. Huwag yung tinipid. Okay? Dito na tayo sa customization, no? Sa customization, you have to remember PREP. So, P-R-E-P. Number 1P, purpose. Does this serve my purpose? So, ano ibig sabihin nito? Nakapili ka na ng template, sinulat mo na lahat. Di ba? Kanina yung content, nilista mo na lahat. Here's the thing, ilista nyo lang lahat. Kailangan meron kayong master resume. Tapos pag dun sa master resume ninyo, doon na kayo magko-customize. So, first P, does this serve my purpose? Pag sinabi natin, does this serve my purpose, ano ba yung position na ina-applyan ko? Ano yung purpose ko dito? Internship ba to? Scholarship application ba to? Permanent position ba to? Okay? Freelance work ba to? Does the resume serve my purpose? Next. R, relevance. Is this relevant to the role I want to take on? Ibig sabihin, hihimayin mo pa lahat ng work experience mo. Kapag hindi siya relevant to the position you're applying to, pwede nyo nang hindi ilagay. Tatanggalin nyo siya. I'll show you later kung ano yung pagkakaiba ng resume ko for a content creation na position at saka yung teaching position. Mamaya, I'll show you that. Pero again, R stands for relevance. Purpose, relevance. The third thing is E, emphasis. Now, this is also very important. Which of these can catch the reader's attention? Bakit? Kasi kapag nagde-design na kayo ng resume ninyo, nagko-customize na kayo ng resume ninyo, pwede nyo nang i-arrange yung text blocks. Ano ang pinaka-importante? Ano ang pinaka-mabigat para sa kanila? For example, if I'm going to, and I'll show you this na, okay. So, this is my resume kung ako ay, yan. Resume kung pagdating sa, ito simple lang to sa Canva ko lang ginawa. Out of the master copy, ito, di ba, meron akong master copy. Nilagay ko lang, kung ang ina-applyan ko na role is sa social media. Okay? As an educational content creator, ito yung resume na ipapadala ko. So, contact details, ayan, peke na yan. Hindi ko na nilagay yung totoo kasi baka, data privacy, no? Nilagay ko yung certifications. Tapos if you notice, under certifications, dahil content creation, yung role or social media management yung role, nilagay ko na Creators for Change Ambassador ako at saka YouTube Next Up Creator for the class of 2017. Now, tingnan nyo ang difference niya dito. Okay? So, ito, kung HR job yung a-applyan ko. Okay? So, human resource practitioner, for example, if you notice, wala na yung YouTube aspect. Now, a lot of people will say, sayang naman yun, big deal naman yun, di ba? Pero hindi siya kailangan kasi hindi ko naman siya gagamitin doon. So, anong nilagay ko? Contact information, tapos diretso na sa certification. Diretso na doon sa registered psychometrician. Diretso na doon sa civil service na eligibility. Ito yung first part ng header. Bakit? Kasi ito yung mas kailangan doon sa trabaho na yon. Okay? Now, next. Sa right side, experience. Okay? Ano ang pinaka-powerful na experience na pwede kong ilagay? CEO ako tsaka founder ng Team Lyqa. So, syempre, mas mataas yun or mas mahalaga yun kaysa doon sa HRD. Head. Kahit na head, interim lang naman yun. Tsaka 1 year lang kasi ako doon sa company na yun. So, again, mas marami doon. Yun yung ine-emphasize ko. Now, again, balikan natin yun for social media, no? If you notice, dito nakalagay, again, kasi nga social media yung pinag-uusapan, nakalagay kung gaano karaming videos, gaano karaming subscribers. Ilalagay ko ba yan kung HR yung ina-applyan ko? Hindi. 'Di ba? Kahit na ibig sabihin, a lot of people say, okay yan, maganda yan. Hindi naman siya kailangan for HR 'di ba? Importante ba sa HR yon na meron kang 1.37 million followers? Wala sila pakialam doon. So, huwag mo na ilagay. Okay? So again, something to think about lang. Emphasis, ilagay nyo agad yung makakatulong sa inyo sa position na yon. And then yung fourth step, P uli, performance. Now, this is very important. How well did I do in the roles I mentioned? Bakit? Kasi you can stress kung ano yung mga nangyari doon. Okay? You can stress din kung gaano kabilis, gaano kabilis ka na-promote, gaano kataas yung sales after pumasok mo sa company, gaano kabilis yung growth, How well did you do in the roles you mentioned? So again, if you notice dito sa ating sample resume for the content creation side, nilagay natin yung performance. Bakit? Kasi proof to eh. Proof na, okay, we can get to that point. So kung kunwari, kailangan ko rumakit, di ba, as a social media manager or content creator, nakalagay dyan how we could do things. Okay? Paano natin nasa scale. Okay? So think about that when you create your resume, when you customize your resume. Okay? Now, again, remember this, it's better to be rejected for the right reasons than to be accepted for the wrong ones.
Alright, so thank you for watching till the end of this video. If you want to learn more, if you want to watch the other videos I'm going to be making, don't forget to hit subscribe and hit that bell icon. Turn your notifications for all the updates that we have. Again, marami pa tayong pwedeng pag-usapan soon. And thank you for joining the team. I know this community has been kind to me for the past 6 years now, and I'm so happy that I get to welcome you as part of this team as well. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you soon.